As I watched the documentary, the pictures of cheese sandwiches published on Twitter made Fire Festival famous around the world. It is one of the greatest downfalls in modern media in recent years. What was supposed to be a new and dazzling elite event for privileged millennials turned out to be the biggest comedy and nightmare of the year. Although the festival gained a great deal of coverage and appeared to be a success from the outside, it was doomed a failure. McFarland recognizes as the festival date approached that there weren't quite enough funds to meet all of the event expenditures. When festival goers came, they too were confronted with this horrible truth: poor planning and lack of funds, resulting in improperly set up stage and tents, a lack of appropriate bathrooms, and a shortage of food. People who make decisions based on paid influencers have poor judgment. The strength of social media platforms is shown for what it is: a massive shell game. To market their products or services, businesses should invest in more established and better regulated channels. Consumers should make educated judgment based mostly on supplier reputation and expertise. Given McFarland's behavior after being charged with fire, the organizations of fire appeared to have been corruptly minded from the start rather than victims of circumstances. Incidents like this typically provide enough chance to acquire valuable insights. Unfortunately, the residents who suffered the most during the whole disastrous event will have little opportunity to gain from the experience. Corporate governance is about being transparent, fair, and honest with all involved parties. In Fire Media's situation, there was no clarification or openness communicated with investors. Festival guests were sold a broken promise, and investors were sold a misleading scenario, which is ultimately what brought the Fire Festival to its collapse. It may be claimed that if investors and influencers had done their research ahead of time, the event would not have happened. The control that Billy wielded over his workers was a major component in Fire Media's collapse. No employee had the courage to hold Billy accountable since they were afraid of losing their jobs without getting paid. This also fed Billy's ego, giving him the authority over the funds of the investors. Clearly, the Fire Festival had several issues that were linked with McFarland's misdirection. Because of the CEO's unlawful acts, the festival's budget could not support the luxurious event. McFarland's lack of understanding regarding project management and festival organizing contributed to the event's failure. To summarize, the most costly errors happened during the early stage of planning and implementation. They were connected to cost, time frame, resources, and stakeholders management, and the CEO failed to address expenditures. There is also scope and time limitation. In conclusion, even a skilled project manager can only go so far in the face of a superior who has no hesitation about deceiving, manipulating, and stealing. However, there is a glimmer of hope wherein a good project manager are authorized to prevent and reduce risks. Project managers have the capabilities to ensure that leaders are selling the delish meal, not just the search by managing up and utilizing abilities for the success of the organization, keeping idealistic leaders in test, and keeping leader and external stakeholders accountable when there is widespread deception and misleading information, which we can all agree would be far preferable to a terrible cheese and bread.